Now, let me pivot to the conversation that we were having yesterday and I was having on Tucker Carlson and about why I think we can't find common ground with the left. And we need to think about, hey, how do we go our separate ways? Do we grab muskets or do we negotiate some kind of deal and go our separate ways? But I still believe that's the right pathway. I had a very fascinating conversation with Royce White yesterday, but I want to go a layer deeper, and I think Robert Kennedy Jr. is actually going to illustrate and make my point. I believe the left and Democrats are going to savage Robert Kennedy Jr. That is Bobby Kennedy's son. That is John Kennedy's nephew. Robert Kennedy was on our cookout show about the COVID jab. This guy is middle American. I mean, obviously he's an elite. He's a Kennedy. But his values are middle America. His values are not crazy. He's not an extremist. He's someone that reminds me of an old school Democrat. And what we're about to see is that old school Democrats aren't liked by new school Democrats. In fact, they're hated. That's my prediction on what we're about to see with Robert Kennedy. And it's going to put in perfect illustration how the Democratic Party would treat John F. Kennedy if he were alive today, and Bobby Kennedy if he were alive today. And I hope it's eye-opening for some of these people that this party that you think has all these great values, they have none. And it's because, and this is where we go a cut deeper, they're not tethered to anything concrete. This goes to my common ground deal. So you have people like me who, for better or for worse, I'm tethered to the Bible. When people get in my face over social media and throw up the Bible and scripture in my face, are you living up to this, or blah, 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 I have to accept that because I've tethered my worldview to a written document that's been around for a couple thousand years. I'm standing on rock solid ground, and people have every right to call me out when I fall short. I need to live up to those standards spelled out in the Bible. I'm accountable to a worldview that's in writing for everybody to examine, for everybody to debate, for everybody to hold me to that standard. Totally fair. That's if you're a Christian. Now, if you're just a conservative and your beliefs are driven by politics, conservatives, Republicans, they're held to the Constitution. That's the written document that they must uphold and they pretend to hold as sacred. The Constitution. It's a written document. I like the Constitution because it's laced with biblical values. It was inspired by the Bible. That's why I like the Constitution. But at the end of the day, my loyalty is to the Bible. Fine, hold me to that standard. I like the Constitution. Again, it's attached to the Bible. And so Republicans are defenders of the Constitution for the most part. Democrats used to be attached to the Constitution, and many Democrats used to be attached to the Bible. But now the left has said the Bible is irrelevant. It's an inspiration for everything evil that has gone on in the world. And screw the Bible, we don't believe in God. And they've now said the Constitution, inspired by the Bible and written by man, it's irrelevant, and we don't have to hold to that standard because the people that wrote it owned slaves, and they didn't allow women to be equal to them, And so we don't have to respect anything in the Constitution. We don't have to respect anything in the Bible. And so how do you find common ground with people whose values are related to feelings, whose politics and policies and worldview are built around satisfying feelings? Feelings go with the wind. I could be, you know what, I feel like Wendy's tonight. Ooh, I want a double cheeseburger from Wendy's. And then I might get in my car and I drive past Popeyes and I go, you know, I was feeling like Wendy's, but that chicken sandwich from Popeyes, that's a better call. Let me turn into there. And then right before I turn into Popeyes, I see that White Castle sign off in the distance. Holy cow. And so you know what I end up doing? I hit all three, Wendy's, Popeyes, and White Castles. You can have it all. That's what Democrats do. Whatever they feel. Hey, you know what? I feel like a woman today, even though I have a stick and ball between my legs. And then, you know what? And so people like Bruce Jenner, again, they go exactly, and again, he's a bad example because he's a Republican. But what they end up doing, people like Bruce Jenner say like, man, I want to have it all. I'm going to keep my stick and balls, but I'm going to pretend to be a woman. Because that's how I feel. And this world that's based on feelings is a world that produces chaos. In order to have order, in order to have fairness, in order to have justice, in order to have equality, you must have some kind of agreed upon document that truth and justice and morality and everything is founded on, so that we can all go and say, okay, these words here mean X, Y, and Z, and we can debate what's in writing and the foundational documents that drive our society, our worldview. You can't debate feelings. You can't build legislation and a society around feelings. They just change too often. And so how can you find common ground with people who will change up on you day to day? Because, and we've been trying to do it, Republicans and conservatives have been trying to find common ground with people whose worldview is driven by feelings. How's it working out? Because here's what they felt like. Bill Clinton. You know what I feel like? I feel like abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. And then you know what he changed to? I feel like abortion should be on demand and just a part of birth control. And now Gretchen Whitmer is out in Michigan signing legislation. You know what? You can kill a baby all the way up until the date of birth. But remember, they started out, well, we just wanted safe, legal, and rare. Now we want abortion to be an all-you-can-eat buffet open to everybody. And then they felt like at the same time, you know, oh, God, we just let these two men get married. If we just let two women get married, oh, utopia is just going to rain down and everybody's going to be happy. That's what they felt like. And then once the conservative Republicans gave in and said, yeah, you're right. Let these two men get married. Let these two women get married. Marriage is for everybody. What did they switch up to? Oh, well, now men can be women. Men can get pregnant. Men can go out and play basketball and football against women. Children, 6, 7, 8 years old, can decide their genders. Drag queens should be welcomed inside libraries and schools. Pedophiles aren't pedophiles. They're minor attracted people. That's what we feel like today. How do you find common ground with people whose whole life is driven by feelings? You can't. Their Bible is feelings. I got a million different feelings every day. Can't build a society if people don't want to stand on something concrete. The Bible is concrete, whether you like it or not. The Constitution is concrete, whether you like it or not. These two, the Bible and the Constitution, have served America incredibly well. Better than any other society in the history of the planet. But let's all throw it out the window because leftists feel like something different would be better. Tomorrow will be some standard we all must adhere to. And so we're going to keep giving them rope, inches of rope, and they're just going to keep becoming wilder and wilder cowboys and cowgirls. And so we should let them have the United States of feelings. And we should look for returning to the United States of America based on a constitution that was inspired by the Bible. We're willing to stand on something in writing, a contract, our word. Like what you saw? Hit that like button, subscribe, and check out the full episode by clicking the link below.